Cool. We on? Awesome. So what's up, everybody? My name is Willie Villarreal. Many of y'all may know me. Many of y'all don't. I am a family nurse practitioner in Conroe, Texas, just north of Houston. I own Capstone Surgical Associates and have worked in surgery for over 20 years, from everything from open hearts to Da Vinci surgery now. And now I specialize. I also own Core Sports Recovery. And I have the really cool job of working with a lot of high-end athletes. And so I do a lot of metabolically challenged patients, take care of a lot of diabetics, a lot of obese, a lot of overweight. But I am an independent prover with Prove It. I am very, very, very honored to do the Keto 101 tonight and take you through a few of the things. I'm trying to stay on task because I like to get very, very geeky with the science, and I want to try to keep it simple for y'all. Feel free to ask any questions afterwards to my personal account. Not here. We'll kind of keep it short and sweet. But basically, my type of medicine that I practice is a little bit different. I like to think outside the box. I think we really, really should be doing that. I think we're very, very, very over-medicated as a society. I'm not the type to just pound you with medications. So I was already doing ketogenic therapy with my patients before Prove It came along, before ketones came along. What I found was that it was very, very hard to maintain, to initiate basically the diet, but also to maintain compliance. For the people that did it, it was amazing. I mean, it has a lot of health benefits. But when ketones came along, they've really, really changed my practice. Basically, they've really, really simplified things. And I can't tell you, I finally feel like I am helping patients rather than doing symptom control. For all of y'all that, I mean, basically medicine has become to where you come see me and you have a symptom and I just give you medication. I'm not fixing anything, and I think a lot of it is because we haven't stressed, in most primary cares, most medicine, we don't stress any nutrition, or they know very, very little about nutrition. Couple that with the fact that we've been fed lies for so long about what a proper nutrition is. What have we been told for 20 years? Just eat less and work out more, right? And you'll be fine. That hasn't worked, guys. Tell me why we have more gym memberships. We have more people working out today. We have CrossFits all over the world, but we're more fat, more diabetic, and more obese than we ever have been in history. So it's not working. We've been told, just eat low-fat diets. Low-fat diets have made everybody fat, guys. So basically, when ketones came along, I was one of the very first ones. I had the honor of being one of the original invites. And I'll be real honest with you, I was one of the very first ones that said, I mean, you can't drink ketones. You have to make your body make them. And all it took was the first hit that I call the first sample. And I was hooked. So I started really diving into the science, diving into the research. And it's very, very nutritionally sound. So what we have now, guys, is we have a way to biohack directly into ketosis. In the past, we used to have to follow a very, very strict ketogenic diet where we limited carbs or even did a starvation fast for a few days and put ourselves into ketosis. Okay, now we can literally get into ketosis in 30 minutes to an hour with a drink. I like what Michael Rutherford says, if you can drink a liquid, you can get into ketosis. So what this has done for a lot of my patients is it's really simplified things. There's so many patients that we're so metabolically challenged, guys. We're pounded every single day with, foods with tons of preservatives. We can't even digest the food that we're eating. Okay. We're pounded with high fructose corn syrup. Okay. The chips are kind of stacked against us because things like high fructose corn syrup, they basically, they trick the body. Our brain cannot use ketones. It doesn't recognize ketones. I mean, sorry, it doesn't recognize fructose. Okay. Fructose basically is a chemical. It's not recognized by the brain. I mean, it confuses our ghrelin, which is basically our hormone that tells us we're hungry. It disrupts our leptin, which is, basically our hormone that tells us we're full. And so what does that do? It throws our hormones out of whack, and you just never know when you're full. So basically, our diets are so screwed up, and like I said, the chips are really, really, really stacked against us. So ketones have really, really simplified things for all of us, for all of my patients, for all of my athletes. That is a whole other hour conversation that I won't even go into. Okay. There's a ton of athletic benefits. And I do a whole presentation on that. But basically, let me just go over what ketones and ketosis are, just so y'all know, because, ketosis is a word that's it was a most, ketogenic diet and ketosis, it was a most Googled search of 2016. All right. We're really, really, really leading the keto conversation as far as the company. There was no ketone market before Prove It established it. Now there are a ton of other companies that are trying to ride on our coattails that, you see them every day. I'm not going to name them, but they're out there, and you've probably been marketed to by them. Just know that ours has the highest quality. Ours has the most pure isomer that there is out there. And we could go into the specifics about everything, but basically you get what you pay for. Okay. We have the highest quality ketones out there. So let's just real quick go over what ketones and ketosis are. Okay. Ketosis is very, very simple, guys. This is not new. Okay. For everybody that wants to say it's a new thing, it's a new fad diet, it's not new, guys, it is our natural metabolic state. Okay. It's the way our bodies were always meant to function. If I tell you to not eat something for a day or two, your body will naturally go into ketosis, okay? It's the way our bodies were always meant to function. In the past, we ate when there was food and we didn't when there wasn't, okay? So we lived in a flux of scarcity and abundance. We ate when there was food, and we didn't have a Whataburger across the street, or a Starbucks, and then a Starbucks on the other corner, another Starbucks. We basically ate when there was food. Now we eat because it's breakfast. We eat because it's lunchtime. We eat because it's, dinner time. I have a bunch of patients that go over their diet with me, and they'll say, well, for breakfast, I eat this. For lunch, and I have to tell them, are you eating because it's breakfast, or are you eating because you're hungry? And most of the time they say, well, I'm just eating because it's breakfast. So we need to get out of this whole mealtime is a very much a cultural creation. Okay, guys. So ketogenic diet or ketosis is basically two things. It's elevated ketone levels in the blood. Okay. And it's where I've shifted to using body fat for fuel. It's those two things. Just remember those two things. Ketones are basically what our body is fueled by. Our body can only run on two fuel sources, glucose or ketones. That's it. In the past, it's always been an either or situation. You're either running on glucose or you're running on ketones, which you had to do the hard restrictive diet. Now we have the benefit of doing both. Okay. Now you're a dual fuel. You can be basically like a hybrid car. We've already shown that even with intaking carbs, your body, certain tissues in the body, from skeletal muscle to heart and brain, actually prefer or actually can still utilize ketones in the presence of glucose. Okay, so that's already been shown in the lab. So that answers some of the questions, because I get that question all the time. What if I eat carbs? Guys, I am having so many results in my clinic with patients irregardless of the diet. Okay, so for patients or people that want to know, hey, do I have to do the diet? Just know this. I still recommend a low carb lifestyle, but it needs to be a lifestyle, guys. I don't do diets. Just know diets don't work. The other thing too, throw away the scale, please. Throw the scale away, because the scale's a liar, okay? If you're trying to lose an immense amount of weight, then maybe you can track it that way. But people will gain or lose 5 pounds, especially women, of water from one day to 3 days to the next, okay? And so it's not a really good indicator of progress. So like I said, that's one of the, just please throw the scale away. That's one of the biggest, not fights, but basically things that come up with patients. So ketones, like I said, are basically what happens when we go into ketosis. Our liver will, when we go into have a starvation or fast, or we limit carbs, our liver basically goes to our fatty acids, breaks it down, makes ketones, feeds our brain. Our brain is our CPU, guys. It has to be fed first. That is why whenever we have ketones, we get ketones, our brain's fed, it goes, ha, I'm good, I don't need extra fuel, and you're not hungry. So I'll kind of go over some of the products in just a second and tell you the differences of them, but they all have a little bit different quality to them. So real quick, let me go over this. Let me go through my notes just to make sure I don't miss anything. All right. So basically, on our Dr. Heather and I really share a lot of information, and we have a sheet that we give to a lot of our patients. She's tweaked it, I've tweaked mine. I have a sheet that I give a lot of patients as far as tips. I'd be very, very happy to send it to anybody. But basically, I have 4 main guidelines, okay? Think of the keto OS as a meal replacement or a snack. There's no need to eat food with it. It works much, much better when you take it on an empty stomach, okay? Drink at least half your body weight of water. I want you to be drinking lots and lots of fluid daily. Make sure, guys, you're taking electrolytes 1 to 2 times a day, okay? And don't forget the salt. I really, really prefer Himalayan pink sea salt. If you get a patient that comes to you and they tell you, or a friend or a member that comes to you and they ask, man, I've had a headache or I've had a little bit of GI distress, it's usually salt, okay? The 2 big lies that we've been told are that fat's bad and salt's bad, and neither's true, guys, okay? All right, so just know that the first thing we got to establish is that fat's not bad, okay? Also, if you don't feel good from high-fat meals, switch the types of foods your fat is coming from, okay? Reduce the type of fat. I kind of want to ease you into it. So make sure that you know, like I said, you really look at things as a lifestyle. It has to be a lifestyle change. The ketones, it's as simple as drinking the ketones ideally twice a day, okay? With that, let me just kind of go through a typical day that the majority of us with Prove It, go through. This is basically our keto cream. It's our instant fat coffee, okay? This is the new optimized version 2.0. Okay, I love it because we start every morning with this. It starts your day off with healthy fats. It has all 3 types of MCTs, which is C8, C10, and C12. It has all the different collagen, it has 4 different collagen types, and it has AC11, which it helps repair DNA. A lot of us start our morning with this. This is actually even good for kids in the afternoon. For an afternoon snack, you can mix it with almond milk, unsweetened almond milk, or unsweetened coconut milk. It's really, really good to get the kids an afternoon snack. Our very first version was the 2.1. This is a can. This is OTG or on the go, okay? The can basically is 30 servings, but it's in a scoop. It's in a scooper, but basically the 2.0, the 2.1 was the very first version, and that had MCTs in it, okay? So that is why some people, like I said, most people's guts are not right. I am very, very, very big about gut health. Everything starts in the gut, everything. We really, really, really have to be taking care of the gut and our microbiome, because I think a lot of the problems that we have, from skin health to a lot of the other issues, start in the gut. And the cool thing about it is that the ketones actually help with gut health. But the 2.1 had MCTs, which sometimes our bodies were not used to having fat. So people would have GI distress sometimes. And if that happens, that's fine. Back them off to half a pack. Back them off to even a quarter scoop. Okay. Explain to them that this is a natural process. Actually, celebrate it. Tell them, hey, that's great. That's your body getting rid of inflammation. Okay. They're going to read your negative. If you sit there and you're negative about it and you're, oh my God, I just gave him diarrhea. Oh my God. They're going to read that negativity, and it's actually not a negative thing, guys. It just means that their body needs time to get used to the MCTs. but celebrate, like make it a positive thing. Okay. Hey, your body's getting rid of inflammation. Your body just needs to get used to the MCTs. That being said, a lot of times I will just right away start them with a Keto Max. Okay. I usually don't start with the 2.1 or the 3.0. Now the next version, the company was great. It's great about listening and always advancing and optimizing. Came up with the optimized version of the 3.0. The 3.0, basically what they did is they took out the MCTs, the high fat, and they replaced it with a short chain fatty acid called butyrate. Butyrate is a really, really cool short fatty acid that basically has a lot of research behind it as far as for gut issues. You can look it up on PubMed, all kinds of studies, peer-reviewed studies on butyrate. Butyrate has been shown to really help with IBS symptoms, irritable bowel, Crohn's, all kinds of issues. It also has a lot of inulin, which is chicory root, which is a very, very good prebiotic, very, very good for osteoporosis. Also, it has an amino acid blend. I tend to use this right after I work out because it has a lot of L-leucine. L-leucine is super, super, super important, guys, for what we call MPS, or muscle protein synthesis. Leucine is the only ketogenic BCAA. In other words, it can only convert into a ketone. The other two, isoleucine and valine, are glucogenic. In other words, they can convert into glucose if we have too much of them. Now, after that, our Keto Max came out. Now we have Keto Max, we have the raspberry lemonade, we have the Swiss cacao. All of them are excellent. It's just finding out which one you like, finding out which one your prospect is going to like, which one your new customer is going to like. You can mix them in very, very cold water. Okay, sorry guys. You can mix them in very, very cold water alone, and they're great. Or guys, sky's the limit. I mean, I have so many patients that are coming up with new recipes. Some people down here in Texas, we drink a lot of tea. Well, I don't recommend sweet tea, but now everybody's mixing the raspberry lemonade in their unsweet tea and making a really cool lemonade. So there's a lot of things you can do. Some people have said, well, I don't like the Swiss cacao. Well, mix it up. I have a lot of people that love it and love it in their almond milk. Put it in very, very cold almond milk. It's awesome. It's also very, very good as a hot chocolate. And winter's coming. It's about to get cold. It's very, very good as a hot chocolate. Now, a few of us have gotten our hands on this really cool prototype. It's called Amped. This is pretty cool. It's Blue Ocean. It's pina colada flavored. It's like my daughter's favorite, a lot of ours favorite. And we're running out, so please put it out. Hurry up. But basically, it literally makes your brain tingle. It's really, really cool. We keep optimizing and optimizing and optimizing the formula, and making the ketones, the BHB in them, more bioavailable. Okay, and so that is the active ingredient, guys. In all of these is BHB. Okay, beta hydroxybutyrate is the most abundant and most active of the ketones. It's beta hydroxybutyrate, and that is the main ingredient. Okay. I get a lot of questions about how to test and what to test. Just know this, guys, that in the beginning we say, you test with your urine, stuff like that. Just know that urine is okay for initiation, but urine only tests acetoacetate. Okay, it doesn't test BHB in the blood. It doesn't test BHB. Sorry, it doesn't test BHB in the blood. The only thing that does that is blood stick. Okay, blood stick is the only one that measures BHB in the blood. So if you want an accurate, I recommend doing that. I am also very excited about this as I've started to give this to my grandmother, which is really sad. She had a breakthrough a little, my mother brought her over earlier, and she had a bout of, basically she forgot who we were, and, things like that. And she has about an hour a day of that. So we've started to give her this. This is 143. It's Dr. Mary Newport developed this, and it is really, really cool virgin coconut oil and MCT oil. She named it 143, which means I love you, in honor of her husband. Her husband came down with it. For a lot of people that were in Vegas and have heard the story, they've heard about, Dr. Newport's husband being diagnosed with early onset Alzheimer's. and it was pretty severe early on. He has since, on this concoction that she's developed for him, made a lot of advancements, and actually they've started doing research studies on him, and he is actually back at work at the hospital she works at, volunteering. So he's made a lot of advances. But basically there's, I mean, a ton. I can't stress to you the change that it's made in my practice for athletes, for your everyday patient that, you know, has tried everything to lose weight, okay, has gone to the gym, has worn sweatsuits and run on a treadmill till they were going to pass out, has eaten healthy, has eaten their chicken breast and salad like they were told, and now have just added this, and now we're dropping 30 pounds in 3 months like my brother-in-law, dropping 20 pounds like my sister-in-law, dropping 20 pounds like I mean, I could go on and on and on. So the benefits just don't seem to end. Now for my athletes, I can personally tell you, I personally have tried everything since the late 80s, early 90s. Okay. I can eat chalk, you know, and I'm fine with it. I used to have amino acid horse pills. I've tried everything, and I can tell you personally, I have never had anything like this. I have 3 of my athletes that went to the CrossFit Games this year. One that's a former champion that she won in 2015, and has said that basically she had the best. She's gone 5 years in a row, which for anybody that knows how hard it is to get to the CrossFit Games, that is a feat in and of itself. And she said this year she had the best CrossFit Games that she ever had. She recovered well. She felt better. My athletes across the board are gaining strength while they're losing body fat and in increasing endurance. Okay. There's a lot of misinformation going around about, hey, the glycolytic pathway of CrossFit, doesn't lend itself to using ketones. And man, we can talk and talk and talk all you want. But it's not what we're seeing real world. Okay. Real world, we're seeing our athletes really, really benefit in 4 different ways. Now you basically are a dual fuel athlete. You're like a hybrid car. You can pull from glucose or you can pull from, ketones. We're seeing the cognitive benefit. You're basically immediately in the zone. The cognitive benefit, guys, for sports, the mental aspect is the thing that only Olympic athletes, pro athletes are the ones that actually tap into. And that is the missing piece. Okay. That is why everybody is shifting now. And even in my practice, I'm very, very big about nootropics. I'm very, very big about looking at brain cognition. And this is just one piece of it. But in things like CrossFit, basically on paper, we're the same athlete. Once you get to the elite level, you have the same numbers. You have the same Fran times. You have the same, clean and jerk, Olympic lifts, everything. What's the difference between you beating me and me beating you? It's totally mental. It's whoever is mentally prepared. The ketones actually help you push past a autonomic nervous shutdown system that keeps us from hurting ourselves. It's a really, really cool deal. Not to mention the anti-inflammatory effect that it has. My athletes are recovering much, much better and are able to hit workouts a lot more often than they used to. So that being said, feel free to message me at any time. You can friend me on Facebook at Willie, and it's under Willie K-A-T Villarreal, or you can look up our clinic. It's Core Sports Recovery, and I'd be happy to answer any questions specifically, but I don't want to take too much of your time up during this. I value all your time. But I'm really going to stick on here because I really want to listen to a superstar that we have coming up. And I've been honored to call her friend and spend time with her at the last few events. And with that, I will shift over to Abigail. Got it?